This video tutorial is dedicated to the advanced option of the MagTest software. Since there are several components, as already explained in the second part of our tutorial, which are working together, and since they are expected to work in perfect synchronism, these devices are calibrated singularly, and the calibration files must be loaded in a correct way in the software. In this episode we will see how to do that and how to be ready for a real test. First of all, we have to set the file of the compensation network. For this task, we go to File and click on Set NFCN file. This will open a second window in which we can select the compensation network that we are using. Here we have the possibility to navigate into a file explorer. We have to select the proper NFCN calibration file, and then after we click on open, the calibration file will be automatically loaded into the program. Then we have to open the hardware configuration under the setting menu. Hardware configuration is a tab with different options. On the left part we have the signal source control part, in which we can select the function generator that we are using, the frequency at which the test starts, and the maximum frequency which is provided by the function generator. Here, since the normative goes up to 150 kHz, I modify the frequency max to that value. We can also select the maximum level which is provided by the function generator, but we suggest not to exceed this value, otherwise the power amplifier could be overloaded. At this point, clicking on Step, we can open another panel in which we can choose how many data points we must collect during our test. We have different possibilities. We can scan using a constant number of steps, or a percentage of the total number of steps using a table, or a number of steps per octave, or per decade. Here we can open, for example, the table option and load our table file. We have to locate it. We can open the file, and in this text file we can insert all the frequency values that we want to check. Here are the frequency values that we will check in the future testing in Hertz. As you can see, we have selected 4 different points. We can close this file, which is now correctly loaded into the settings of the program, and proceed with the following settings. The dwell time is the time at which the device under test is exposed. Here, for example, we have 2000 milliseconds at which the device under test is exposed. Of course, we can change it to different values that allows you, for example, to move the device under test inside the Helmholtz coil, or using the step-by-step option. In the following part we can select whether we are using a compensation network, in this case yes, and if we want to save a table with the data. There are also other options that we will not discuss now, but you can find a better explanation in the technical manual. Now, in the middle of this window we can find the settings of the voltmeters. We are using now 2 different voltmeters, one for the measurement of the shunt or the current probe, and a second one for the monitoring loop. For example, here we can click on shunt and locate the proper configuration file for that device. Since I am using a current probe with serial number 5, I am loading the calibration file, simply clicking on it and opening. It is also possible to use a monitoring loop, and in this case I am giving the priority to this device. Here you can also check at which address at which device is used to control this device. Then we have to load the parameters of the Helmholtz coil or of the radiating loop that is under usage. And in this case I am using this particular Helmholtz coil with a diameter of 400 millimeters. We can also select, of course, other models depending on the test that you are performing, and as we did already for the shunt, for the compensation network, you just have to select the proper file and then clicking in on OK. In the table there are also some information about the coil factors and the other physical parameter of the Helmholtz coil that is used. We can then close this window clicking on OK. We should also set up the monitoring loop, which is calibrated individually, and in the same way we can click on File and opening the corresponding calibration file for the monitoring loop. Here we are using a reference calibrating loop, and therefore we are using this calibration file. Also in this case, the information about the monitoring loop are reported in the window. In the same way as we already showed for the other devices, we can close this window clicking on OK. At this point, most of the settings are controlled, are set up. There are also other possibilities, for example, to set another loop and to set the delay between the application of the field strength, the measurement, and the setting of the next level. But we suggest to keep this value. At this point, we can close this window clicking on OK, and we can check whether all the configuration files that we loaded are correctly loaded into the program. To do that, we can read the information that are reported in this part of the screen of the MagTest software, and if all the parameters are correctly inserted, you can read them into this brief summary.